What is up, everybody, and welcome back to 2xTheGrind. We're here for episode number 13. It's the unlucky episode, but it's fine. We got loads of luck.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Unlucky number 13.
What made
Friday the
guys,
13th?
Does anyone know what actually made 13 an unlucky number? Is it like an historic?
It's Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, but is it like a historic thing?
Imagine
that
it was Friday. Whoa.
It's not Friday.
It's episode 13.
That took me a long time.
Oh, you were trying to figure that out the whole time?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I was.
LVP is tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm sorry, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful week. And I hope that this brings you over the hump that is a Wednesday. So 13th episode, really, really cool. 13 weeks, technically 14 weeks because we did have a week off.
Missed a week.
But let's just say 13 weeks for the sake of it. And thank you so much for being on this journey with us, folks. Let's get into the episode though. So first and foremost, business is our coffee. So today we are actually going to be trying a Beanbox coffee.
I think it's our last one.
It is our last one of Beanbox. We did actually want to get through the Beanbox sachets that we had sampled because first of all they're really cool, they're from all over the world and they're great quality, so wanted to try all of them out, and then we'll be bringing you some other coffees.
Yeah,
I don't know,
might have to try a different service because this was really cool.
Yeah, we should definitely try. There was who recommended it in the comments.
There's one where people recommended a couple.
Yeah,
one
we're
episode.
gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a try, right?
Yeah.
So this one, Beanbox, it is from the Broadcast Coffee House. It's the Johnson House Blend. It's a very nice name, isn't it? Johnson House Blend. So this says, a big roast with rich flavour, named for where the roaster's father used to broadcast on the radio. Do you recall what it felt like to enjoy a chocolate bar when you were young? This coffee brings just as much joy. I love on Beanbox that they give you the notes of the coffee. So notes here is baker's chocolate, toffee, and get this, nostalgia is a note. I love it. Yeah, really, really cool.
It's really good.
I also like the hashtag of Beanbox, to better mornings.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's really good.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a little sip. I have already actually had a sip. It's going to be real with you folks.
I mean, come on. Guys, listen, if you're watching this or listening, when have you ever made a cup of coffee from downstairs, carried it all the way up, set it, like if you make a cup of coffee, you drink it pretty quick, all right? Unless you're you take the longest to drink a cup of coffee I've ever seen in my life. Is it good?
It's lovely. I actually really can taste chocolate in it.
Can
you?
Yeah, I can too. You know what's the best
Feels
note
really
though?
bold with the chocolate in it. Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Can you taste that nostalgia?
Yeah, I can.
Nostalgia.
You actually have a problem of not drinking cups of coffee quick enough.
You know, I actually
in the morning.
Well, actually, you bought me a really, really cool Christmas present.
I did.
To solve that.
Was it for Christmas?
Yeah, it was for Christmas. Called an Ember mug. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me post about it at one point, which I would probably do again because when I actually posted that, people were like, whoa.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa, I want to know more about this. I actually had to explain what it is. So
yeah.
Maybe I should do it again for folks as well, just in case you missed it. But an Ember mug is really cool, and it heats up your coffee. It keeps your coffee hot, and you use an app. It's actually really cute.
Keep it on like your little plate,
a little
kind of
saucer,
thing. Does it need to be plugged in or no?
No, but your plate needs to be
charged. Yeah, and then you control it through your phone.
Control it through your phone. You can set different degrees, and on the app, they have like recommended like latte heat and I don't know, Americano heat and stuff like that, so you can see what is the best heat for the coffee you're trying to drink. But it's really, really good, and it keeps your coffee hot because my coffee goes cold.
La is really guilty of in the morning. We're just busy in the morning. I drink a cup of coffee pretty quick overall, where you are a little bit more of a sipper, and it's just I got it for you because it just can't be nice. I've watched you probably reheat a coffee like 4 times in one morning. And I was like, it just can't be as good.
No, it's not.
You're meant to enjoy it.
Yeah, when you blast it in the microwave like that, by the end of it, it tastes a bit burnt.
Exactly.
It's not nice.
So not an ad, but Ember mugs.
Yeah, Ember mug, really, really great. So we will rate this coffee again and tell you what we think of it overall. So Let us begin. You'll probably already know where we're going to be going with this straight away. Obviously, we just had Major 3 of the Call of Duty
in the
League,
books.
And we will start with Call of Duty yet again this week, just because a lot has happened. And really, there's so much that has happened. We're going to try and breeze through a lot of it and just kind of give like overall thoughts in like a condensed fashion. Because Call of Duty, we tend to get carried away with it a bit. And
there's
we
a lot
notice
to talk about.
Yeah, there is. And we have noticed that we do take like an hour to get through COD, which, it's not that bad. But, we want to make sure that we're devoting enough time to lots of different topics too.
Pretty soon we're going to have other stuff to talk about though.
Yeah, we
Halo,
will. Oh yeah.
E3.
And I think that's why we need to get in the rhythm of it as well. So
good time
let's
to do it.
Talk about it. Actually, shout out Lando. We've actually got your bracket up right here, mate. We're using Lando's Major 3 bracket to have a look at and in reference, just because of how perfect his bracket was. So let's talk about it. No particular order here. Honestly, I'm not even really going to go from the beginning of the major. I'm literally just going to go to things that spring to mind, because why not? I think first and foremost, I really want to talk about New York. Just because I feel like there was a certain point in that major, there was a big turning point, especially that winner's bracket final, where I thought, I've done it. I've done it.
After they won? After they won it?
When they beat Faze, I was like, I've done it. I've predicted it. I've predicted the final and the score and the outcome of this major. I had New York and FaZe in the final, but I had New York winning. And winning by a game. I had it going the whole 9. I had it going...
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. 5-4.
Wow. Okay.
Which actually, at one point, I thought it could happen.
It could happen.
So let's just talk about New York for a quick sec. I feel like New York had... the best possible chance of winning that major, in the sense that if you look at the way that they had peaked by the time the major came around, I feel like they were in the best headspace and the best physical space in terms of Call of Duty and the competitiveness of the team and the way that they just carried themselves on maps and modes, and how well they had extended their map pool by the major. Their hardpoint was definitely the star of the show in this team, obviously. I mean, before heading into the grand final with FaZe, their stat line for hardpoint was 11-1.
Yeah.
They'd only lost one hardpoint, and that literally was at the major against FaZe in the winners final.
Yeah.
So that just says a lot. Their overall KD as a team on hardpoint was 3.43. Shout out HCS.
Yeah. What is it?
Shout out HCS 343.
Oh.
Because it's 3.43 was like overall KD as a team.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So shout out HCS.
Wasn't it? That's so odd.
Yeah, I know. And to be honest, every single player really was performing incredibly on the respawns in general. Control heading into the major was definitely, I would say, the weakest link as a team. But, excuse the pun, it seemed like they had it under control as they were into the major, because you could see the way that they were performing. Like, it had definitely improved. Yeah. For sure. It's still a weak link, but it definitely had improved.
Yeah. Did they beat FaZe in a control? Can you remember? I don't want to break down, like, specific in games, but I was just wondering. Cause,
they did win a control 3-0.
Against FaZe?
I think it was.
Or was it against Florida? Because they stomped Florida terribly. So maybe that was a 3-0.
No, I think it was FaZe. Because I remember being on the desk and asking Ant to break down how on earth they beat FaZe 3-0 on control.
Yeah, because they were up 2-0, obviously, in winners. They were up 2-0. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go into it.
I'm pretty damn sure it was against FaZe.
Yeah, I was only asking because obviously they were up 2-0 in that winners finals and lost the control being game 3.
Yeah, no, it was.
It was?
It has to be, because if they won, they must have won a hard point against FaZe winners bracket, won the control. That's 2. Maybe lost the S&D.
In winners bracket?
Yeah.
No, winners bracket. They were up 2-0 in winners bracket finals. Almost got reverse swept and they won game 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think their map pool actually is probably what. It's tough because they're such a new team coming in. I do agree with you. They peaked at the right time because their hard points.
They beat in control then.
No, they definitely beat Florida.
Yeah,
they threw it at Florida.
You're right. Okay, sorry. My brain is just not working.
No, it's not about. It's nothing to do. It's not that. I just didn't know in the finals if they might have taken one or not. No, I know they had a really close one.
Completely different situation.
Series.
Because there was a point where I swear that they did so well in the control, which must have been Florida, and I was like, whoa, they've improved.
I think New York. I told you this like early on. I thought New York had a really good shot. best of 9, your map pool has got to be deep, brand new team.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
I think that kind of is the hard part for them. Obviously, you won't talk about it because, we're not going to discuss league operations, but not having like a map advantage, then go into that potential 9-game series, your map pool has got to be long, like it's got to be solid. And it was close. It was really close. Faze just came out hot.
Yeah,
I feel like you got to kind of like take your hat off to both teams.
Oh yeah,
it was just great. It was great,
amazing.
Yeah, winners final was awesome. Finals was great.
I think just a quick note on that. Obviously, not going to comment on anything to do with in terms of the league and the structure and how it's played, but the best of 9, I would say, is the ultimate test of a map pool and how deep your map pool, how much you've extended it through the stage, or even through actually the rest of the stages, to be honest, and as a team. So yeah, it really does translate onto that final.
Yeah.
And you've got to come prepared as a team in terms of like maps and modes, vetoes. You've got to bring your best on your worst. Yeah. Basically, which is like, look, you might not like a map and a certain mode together, but you've got to at least be able to put up a good fight.
Especially considering like with it being best of 5 the whole way through the league matches. Yeah. There's a chance you're going to play maps that you've just never played in rotation before. So
it does happen. It just doesn't happen. Often. Obviously, best of 9 literally exploits like your weaknesses because it forces you to do things that you're uncomfortable with, which is actually a cool thing because I feel like it is a true test of a team. You know what I mean?
I like the best of 9
in certain circumstances.
I really like the best of 9. I like the one map advantage. We won't go into that, but I do like the best of 9 rather than like bracket resets and stuff like that. I like a best of 9.
So let's talk about Faze on the other hand as well.
Yeah.
So New York overall, super incredible, super impressed. Love Hydra on the team, great asset. Love the team overall. I think they've really.
Solid chance they only get better.
Yeah, solid chance they only get better.
Which is scary to think about.
Yeah, terrifying actually. But Faze on the other hand, I just think that this team have really excelled yet again. I think that they've worked through some mistakes and some problems and some potentially a slow period of a stage for them. And also having to take a loss on the chin pretty early doors, So having the pressure on their shoulders as the most dominant team in the league, I think, was pretty difficult. And, based on interviews that I've had with them during the regular season in between majors, they seem to really hone in on the fact that, like, anytime they lose a map, their attitude towards it is that's a mistake and that's good because now we know where we're going wrong. And I think that potentially could have been something that was actually kind of, I guess, the problem is that they didn't have anything to work on.
Yeah, when you're the best team, it can kind of go that way for a bit.
You have nothing. Like, if you haven't got people who are testing you, how are you supposed to know? Behind. Yeah, you do. You start falling behind until someone comes and tests you. And I think Ultra did that for them.
Yeah. I mean, I think all the competition's super close. I'll be honest. I think people were just kind of like overhyping, in my opinion, Faze's struggle. They lost to Toronto. Obviously, Toronto wins stage 2 major. Toronto. Faze beats Toronto in winners finals 3-1.
Right.
Okay. Then we fast forward to the finals, and there's the format of obviously only playing one match on Sunday with the winners, no advantage, yada yada. Toronto wins. Toronto is still the biggest question mark to me on how they just flipped it around, so it's more credit to them. But Faze came out a little slow, like in stage 3. But I mean, what was their record still, like 4-1 or something?
Yeah.
And it
definitely.
Like, and apparently this is what I know you on the desk talked about a little bit, as well as like casters mentioning it. They weren't necessarily even picking like their best maps. Like it was like I think they kind of used it as a lot of working on their map pool.
Yeah, I
and
like
then
that.
So still super close. Like Toronto went 3-2, New York went 3-2. So like not like they're I think they're the best team, but not as though they're just super far ahead of everyone. But I think people were just a little quick to be like, they're falling off. They've fallen off completely.
You're almost saying like it's almost like they were taking the harder route to be more prepared for something like a
best of 9.
Yeah, which is so smart. Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Do you think that they were doing that also throughout the entire stage, like, because obviously like London took them to a game 5 and there were certain instances where I think a lot of outsiders who potentially don't have the experience or the knowledge that you have. So you kind of, obviously, yes, granted, different FPS games, but it's still a very similar type of situation.
The work
mentally
ethic is still there.
Yeah. And tactically as well, in terms of just an overall generic kind of view of a game and what you need to do as a team to win. Do you think like a lot of people from the outside were kind of looking in and were like, whoa, go game 5 with London right now when London aren't like, hadn't been that great. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, FaZe they're falling off.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the battle of online, not just online matches, just league play matches in general.
Yeah.
FaZe is an established team. FaZe is really good. I'd have to go back and look at the maps to know whether they might have just been working on their map pool. I don't want to be like, oh, they were just working on their map. I don't necessarily know that. I don't remember the maps. But, we kind of talk about it. It's just sometimes the better team comes out a little bit slower because you're kind of in your head, like, you got them beat. But, and I think on league matches, it's tough to get out of that mindset. And people are like, always be ready. And I mean, I always say that, always be ready, always be prepared. But you come out slow some days. And especially in league matches, you're playing one match and then you're done. It's not, there's no momentum building or anything. And that's not a bad thing. I love league matches. But, slow days are going to happen compared to like on a major where it might still be one match or two matches, but you're a lot more prepared.
Yeah. I think another talking point to note in the major is, let's do a couple of big dogs at the moment. Ultra.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of people who kind of looked at their stage 3 run, literal clean record, 5-0 going into the major.
They had an easier pool.
Yeah, and kind of maybe expected more. They were really good, don't get me wrong, going game 5 with FaZe early on, but
they should have beat them.
Yeah,
winners finals, they should have beat them.
Getting knocked down is rough because if you look at the elimination, I just got the bracket up in front of me as well. If you look at the elimination at the moment, they played LA Thieves, which at the time could have been a risk to play LA Thieves. Yeah. That could have been pretty tough, depending on like how they came out fighting and
they beat them they get like 14 points.
Yeah, it was
the hard point.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But that could have been a risk, and also Optic as well.
Yeah, Optic was a scary one because Optic should have won that. But it just goes to show what momentum will do. We'll talk about Optic in a second, but it just goes to show what momentum will do, and it shows how tight the league is overall. I mean, there's a lot of close matches that can go either way. Optic should have beat Ultra. Yeah. Ultra in winners finals should have beat. If you go by, they should have won game 1. Who was it? Was it CleanX with the streak? I mean, I think it was, right?
Yeah, it was.
So, it doesn't go his way. They lose map 1. FaZe win it. FaZe won map 1, yeah?
Oh, sorry, everybody. Just making loads of noises.
I'm pretty sure FaZe won map 1. And, yeah, because they were up 2-0 and almost got reverse swept. But it's crazy to think, like, Optic, for the struggle that they had, should have beat Toronto. Round 11, all 4 up, bomb down. You got to win it.
But takes you back to moments like Rocker versus Optic.
Yeah,
situations.
Optic
rough,
keep catching the bad break, but that's not necessarily a bad break. They just got literally, they got destroyed by Toronto. Toronto had a perfect retake, but my point being, it shows how close the league is overall. Really impressed by Optic though.
Yeah,
happy. I was very happy.
Yeah, I was very, I think it's a smooth transition, honestly, onto Optic now. I mean, what a way to come out fighting after such a difficult period of, and honestly, I didn't think that they would make top 6 based on the way they were playing.
Tell the people that I told you.
What?
Because what did I say? We were talking, I think it was, what day did Optic play? Friday? I said to you on Friday, I said, if they beat LAG, they're going to get top 4.
Yeah. No, I know you said that, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%, but it was about that first game.
That LAG.
It's about being able to mentally get, it's not about talent. This team is incredible. When they're on it, they are on it. Oh my God, they're a contender for the title.
And you saw.
Yeah, I mean, they're incredible. But the problem is with this team right now is because of what's happened to them, because of the way that they, I guess, haven't played up to the way that they can and their potential, that is mentally taxing. That is so hard. You get in your own head. If you keep losing and losing and losing and it's just not working, they
had more of a mental hurdle to get over.
Yeah, that's all it is. Honestly, that's all it is. Yeah. It's in their own heads about it.
I tweeted this. I said, I'm really glad. I think that this came for them at the perfect time. It sucked not seeing them beat Ultra, but it is what it is. You know,
I was actually pretty. It was weird because like I'm not rooting for anybody.
Yeah.
Like at all, but it's like that was really heartbreaking again. I was just like, oh, I felt that it was rough. It was just, I didn't feel like they deserved that, you know.
It's just that it keeps happening, isn't it? It's like just like a tough loss after tough. Like, why can't
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. But good momentum heading into the LAN. That's what they've been saying they want. Good momentum heading into it. You know, good stuff. Happy for the green wall.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm very tired today. I'm just knocking. I didn't actually knock anything over, thank God. I'm very sorry. Am I scaring you?
Yeah.
Making you jump?
Yeah, terrifying. It's terrifying.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, forgive me.
Sorry.
Forgive me.
You're just bouncing cups everywhere. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay.
Let's continue. So
Empire?
Coffee aside.
Empire?
Yeah, Empire.
Probably one of the last things to talk about, man.
Well, I want to talk about that and Ellie Thieves, which is actually a great transition because obviously kind of two go hand in hand right now.
Man.
Empire.
I said this, and I don't know. Well, next week we'll have to talk about roster changes and all that stuff because apparently there's a big roster mania going on, and we'll see if they're involved in that. They might not be. I have no idea. But I said it last week. I think it was last week. This might be one of the worst roster changes I've ever seen. They just came out flat. They came out super flat. I think they're fully capable. I don't want to doubt those guys because they're winners. I got to say, Illy specifically, I mean, when they made the roster change, I said to you, and I think you agreed with me, correct me if I'm wrong, Illy is the one who's been struggling.
Yep.
The whole way through it, Illy's been the one who's struggling.
Yeah. And you can't deny it. The stats
and
don't lie.
This major, it just proved the point. Yep. Illy against Optic, they lose to Faze.
Like, he's a sweetheart, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, we mean nothing.
Oh, no.
Nothing
I mean,
against
look,
him.
he's a world champ.
I know. And he's lovely.
And I think it was his first year being pro last year.
Yeah,
I think, right?
Sure.
I think it was. I'm not 100%, but I think it was. I think it was first or second year being pro because he's a young kid. Wins a world championship. He's fully capable, but it's game by game with Call of Duty.
Stuff happens, you know.
But, you know, I'm sorry, like, if anyone should have gone, it was going to be him. And I don't even think they should have made a change, period. I think they should have just figured it out.
Yeah,
because you had all the talent in the world.
I feel like it's another Optic roster.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Don't make a change, figure it out.
Instead, they bring on Fellow, who, by the way, I feel bad for because everyone will blame Fellow because Fellow for you, but it's not his fault.
He was
because
performing. He was great with the S&D.
He did great. Listen to the
him.
stats against Optic. They got 3-0, obviously.
Yep.
Illy in the hard point, 14-27. In the hard point, they got destroyed. Dashy, by the way, 35-13. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. All of Optic did really well. Like Formal 22-14, Envoy 24-18, Scum went +2. All of Dallas did struggle, but the problem is Illy was across all 3 game modes.
Just not good.
Map 2, they have a 5-4 lead in the Search and Destroy. Illy's 1-7. 1-7. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They go 5-5. And I know Krim talked about this because there's a little bit unfortunate situations of like, I think like the attack pause thing, like they had to play a different way. They were up 5-4 and then they had to play a different way or whatever. But Illy finishes 2-9. Fellow 8-4. Mm-hmm. You know, 2-9. Mm-hmm. And in that, by the way, you could just tell. Like when you watch his screen, this major, could you not literally see? He just didn't. He looked uncomfortable on the map.
But I think also the more that happens throughout your series and throughout your games, like the more
worse
you're like, I'm not playing well.
Yeah.
Sugar.
He was in like a 1v2, and like he's clutch. Like he's a really good S&D player.
But, again, every single pro we talk about on here and any single pro who's in the league are insane. But unfortunately, you have bad periods as everyone does in stuff that they do. And unfortunately, this is definitely not Illy's best period of playing right now.
But I think it might have been it was in one of the last rounds. He's in a 1v2, and he's a really clutch player. Like, I really like Illy.
Yeah.
You could just see it. It was like it wasn't going to happen. Like, he just looked lost on the map. Control, 15 and 26, 2,952 damage. The next lowest was Scump, with 4,000. I think it was like 4,990. He was 10 off of, 3,990. So pretty significant. Everyone else had above 4K.
Yeah.
Basically, I think Dash hit like 5K damage in that control game. So no kills, no damage, S&D not happening. Just really rough.
Very rough.
They had a pretty rough bracket. You play FaZe, then you play Optic, but you're Empire and you're supposed to be a top 30 team, and Optic's meant to be struggling, and they didn't put up a fight in either of them. So tough.
Yeah, tough. Let's quickly move on to LA Thieves, because I think that's another team that I think a lot of people were expecting to kind of come out and shine a little bit this major and have maybe like a very heated kind of catch fire run through the major and just see what they could do. And that really didn't happen. Yeah. It was not really. I just don't think it was really. I don't think
they've clicked.
I mean, they were knocked out by Mutineers early on, and Mutineers were literally knocked out
by NYSL
swiftly after that. I'm just having a little look at their journey. Yeah, and then they play London, and that goes really well for them. Obviously, that's 3-0.
Was it a 3-0?
Yeah, 3-0. And then they meet Ultra. So yeah, it's rough because obviously we have a stack competition. So whoever drops from the tops drops down to the bottom, and unfortunately the bottom have to play them to get through the next big gates to the major. Basically, it goes into these rounds, and the harder it gets is the further you go. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What did you kind of see out of their gameplay? Were you impressed by anything at all?
No, I wasn't. They just haven't clicked, and it's not that I'm not impressed. It's in like a bad thing. They just haven't clicked, and I see people like. I feel bad for Hugh almost, because I see people calling out LA like the team is vibing with TJ and you replaced them and yada yada, and it's like, bro, when Hugh becomes available, you get him, because one way or another, I swear, I'm pretty confident it will be figured out.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're going to decide to make a change, maybe bring in TJ for Venom. That's one of the other flip-flops that they could do. But they just didn't click. They didn't click the way NYSL brings on Hydra. It's almost like the opposite effects, right? NYSL brings on Hydra, they don't drop a hard point. Hugh goes to LA, he comes in for TJ Haley, and they just they just didn't put it together. The talent's there.
Oh, it is majorly,
and you could see it. They're keeping up. Like, when they played NYSL, they had really close hard points in their league match. Would you say the same? Just didn't click.
Yeah, there was something that just didn't click. Like, you can just tell they're a talented bunch. But I think that is the main issue: is if you don't click as a team, you're not going to beat anybody, because you need to be a team.
Especially with how fundamental these teams are now.
Oh my gosh.
Like Toronto they got their tease, and
when you've got a team that is clicking and they're just firing on all cylinders across every map, and they just have it down like their respawns and stuff. You can't just be a good slayer. You have to have layers to your strategy on a respawn map. You have to be able to understand rotations and understand the map. Like, for example, Apocalypse, you need to rotate early on that map. That is so important, and you need to know when to do it. You need to slay your way around it and make sure that if you do lose a couple of guys on the way, that you're rebuilding in the right areas. Like, it's very important to have teamwork on all of these maps. If you don't have that, unfortunately, you're not going to get far in the major, because you need to be a unit. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter about how talented each individual is. It's about
so
the team.
Fundamentally sound now.
Yeah.
And especially Toronto and FaZe. And FaZe play some of the most fundamental Call of Duty I've seen in a long time. NYSL, I think, is up there as well. But perfect example, Scump's up 1-0 on Control. You know what I'm going to talk about.
Yep.
They're up 1-0 on Control. Scump's popping off, getting kills. Boom, boom, boom. He rotates from... I can't think of what it's called. Where's the B-bomb site on Raid? Like the water side, the water side of the map. Like he rotates from bedroom to middle.
Right.
Gets some kills. Rotates to ring.
Yeah.
No one picks it up. and Vance spawns on that side, goes in, they get 3 dead, they cap it.
You're talking by outside pillars, aren't you?
Outside pillars, yeah.
By ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, ring is
Was that A?
That's A. Yeah. I'm thinking of like bedroom that leads to B, the B
by
plan.
Tiki.
Yeah, tiki. Yeah, okay. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
It's
Yeah,
like by water steps and by tiki.
I was wondering tiki. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I used to call it the bar.
I don't know why it's called tiki.
But
it just shows like it's so fundamental overall. Like the smallest thing, like when you're watching it, scum's going off. But then the smallest little fundamental thing of like no one rotated to pick up that side of the map. Mm-hmm. Toronto pushes up, 3 dead, win the round, and you're sitting there like, what the heck? And I think circling back to LA, I just saw a lot of that. You didn't see that in the Toronto game because the Toronto game, they lost 14 points. But I think overall in their game, that's where they're struggling. Just the fundamentals, getting it down. A little bit hyper, I feel like, that team maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit hyper aggressive.
Yeah. I can see that. We
talked about like Cuke over challenging a little bit and stuff like that. They had the potential to dial it back.
That's the thing. It's like, I think when you haven't clicked yet, you're trying to make up for stuff in other different ways. So it's like, so you can compete to a certain extent. So you do start over challenging and stuff to make things happen, to get things going, to get that deficit on the other side of the opposition, get them a couple men down, because that's how you then start building your momentum up on the map. So if you don't have the teamwork there just yet, and you can't actually execute things like you would like to, that, you know, you're going to overchow. Because you've got to try and slay out. Yeah. So anyway,
they have the potential to do it. Do you think they will?
Who?
LA?
Thieves?
Yeah.
I think they'll click. I do.
Where obviously their potential is they could win. You know? Do you think stage 4 you see them in the top 4? It's a tough competition when you think about it. NYSL, LA, or NYSL.
This is how I see it. Yes, I do.
You think
they click.
Okay.
I think that's the only way I can actually answer that, because I cannot, from what I've seen so far, I can't answer that as like a definite. Like, if they do click and they somehow find themselves, like for example, you can say a team is clicking, but they're just not going to compete against other teams. Like, you can say like, oh, that team is definitely clicking. They're doing what they need to do, but unfortunately they're just not as good as some other teams that are clicking too. So like, for example,
no disrespect to London.
No disrespect at all. Same with Surge sometimes as well. But if this team clicks, yes, I think they could be in the top 4.
Okay. I like it.
What do you think?
Yeah, same. Agreed.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anyone else you want to talk about right now?
No, I think that's kind of it, honestly. Shout out Cheen.
Yeah.
LAG.
Oh my gosh, Cheen.
I thought he did great.
Fantastic asset. Yeah. Really, really
obviously,
good.
Didn't get the run that they would have wanted, but I mean, he had a 1.3 KD in their one series that they won, and I'm just impressed with him. Like,
my God, yeah.
He came on. You're kind of sitting there like, when he came on, no offense, I was like, everyone's going for the younger players.
He was pretty good last season.
I thought he came on for OG last season. He did great, but it's just everyone's going for the younger. People aren't really going for the veterans now. And he's more of a veteran, So
that's the thing. It just depends on what you think your team is lacking or needing.
So when they they bring him in, and he's just excelled, and he's done great.
Because maybe LAG didn't need somebody to mold. Maybe they needed somebody who already can come on and bring like a new level of like, this is what we need to do in a certain area. Maybe because maybe that's what they needed for S&D or something like that.
It's a random point, but I just thought he did great. I thought it was worth mentioning.
He did really, really well. Before we finish and round off COD, with certain teams, I'm not going to comment on it, but I want to know what you think. Where would you say is the most needed roster change right now, and who would it be? If you could decide which team needs the roster change the most, and who would it be? That's what I want to know.
Probably Surge.
Okay, and who would you switch out?
I don't know. I literally don't know, because it's just been 2 years of just, what are we doing? And I already know it's rumored. We won't talk about it because, we'll wait for official statements, but like Decimate's already out kind of thing. I told you and everybody at the start, I didn't understand the Looney pickup to begin with. And it was the same thing with the Slack pickup to begin with Florida. I thought the same exact thing. No offense to him, but that's just what I thought. And, now you're after stage 3, champs is less than halfway. We're less than halfway to champs, and you're sitting there scrambling like, oh shoot, who are we gonna get now?
Yeah.
And I don't know who the right change is, because Surge is just like, I just find Surge odd that they have, you know, they got Pristini, Gunless, Octane. I'm almost like, I don't know who you keep, but I'm almost all for switching it up completely. But they tried doing that. They tried keeping Octane and letting everyone else go and bringing on new people, and it didn't work. So yeah. I'm curious, because I saw a stat. Octane won in their championship run in Black Ops 4, like the world championship, Call of Duty championship in Black Ops 4 when he's on 100 Thieves. Yeah. He won more series at that one event than he has in the past 2 years.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, so that I just think at that point, every other team, I feel like I have a lot of, not necessarily positives to say, but like there's some positives. Like Paris has won some series, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I didn't expect Paris to win that, you know, or same thing with London. Like London makes some runs. I think that team, Surge specifically, they've gone the distance with teams to game 5s, but they just haven't flipped the switch and turned their season around. So
I feel you. I do feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will find out how everyone does in stage 4.
Rostermania.
I'm very excited. I'm really excited.
Rostermania is going down.
This
apparently.
has been one of the coolest seasons, I swear, ever.
I really like. I mean, I don't know if you really can comment, but I really like the game. I think the game plays a huge part of it.
I really like the game as well. Like me and you, like I think a lot of, it's funny because a lot of like my sorry everybody, I keep banging everything right now. Sorry everyone. A lot of my colleagues. At the start
of the episode, you're like, let's try not to make a lot of noise.
I know. I was like, let's try not to make a lot of noise on the mics. Like keep the audio clean. There's me clonk clonk bang. Bing bang. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry everybody. Sorry.
It's alright.
Still, I hope you still love me after this.
I do.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I bloody hope so.
I always will.
You better.
I always will. It's alright.
Good. So yeah, a lot of my colleagues always like not make fun of me, but it's like a little funny thing because like none of them play pubs, but I love pubs.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I like pubs.
I do play League Play very occasionally with them if they fancy getting challenged. They fancy a challenge. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You're gonna give yourself some credit.
I was like, I don't do anything. Like I get mad objective time, and I get some really good objective like kills, and I've told you
this before. She's competitive, real competitive. I'm very competitive. She has a hard time realizing the people that she's gaming with, like obviously her, you know, the casters and the other talent members,
ex-pros,
are ex-professional players playing the game who still play
really, really
Nameless
good.
Is over there streaming League Play at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my god! And
with
in League Play, I got Stud and Nameless like doing proper call outs, and I'm like this. I'm like, I'll get water steps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jay's like, Lottie, lay prone, have the water steps to the left a bit, I'm like, okay. It's nerve wracking, man. It is really nerve wracking, but. You know what? They're so lovely to me when I play. They're so nice.
They're good people.
I spend the whole time apologizing.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Or if I get like a 2 or 3 piece.
Talk some trash.
I talk trash, big time trash, because I'm feeling myself. I'm like, yes.
We like public matches though, because I do too.
Public matches are so fun. I slay out in public matches.
You know, they are apparently patching snipers, and I could not be more excited to game some pubs, because snipers have been a battle for me.
I can't comment, but
yeah. I can't comment. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just your enjoyment of the game. Because we get destroyed by snipers. I'm not really
supposed to like say too much about like I don't want to be negative, you know.
It's not negative. It's not a negative. It's just that people destroy us with snipers. Yeah. So from my own personal experience, I am glad I'm not playing against Pomage Jr. every single game now.
Tell you what though, I actually played against Pomage in a lobby once in pubs. I wrecked the kid.
You held your own. Didn't he drop like 100 kills or something?
Yeah, he did.
But you
was
went
only
off.
Like 3 of them because I was piecing him.
I know.
It's fine.
I know. I did see you going off.
Remember, I kept screaming.
Your teammates were terrible.
Yeah. Actually, my brother was.
Yeah. Okay, but Jake,
my brother is in my
Jake is really good at video
team.
games. Jake is really good at
Really
video
good,
games,
but
he's on 100 and
world's worst
he's on
internet.
130 ping.
World's worst internet.
Yeah.
So like we get in a game of Pomage. I'm gonna tell this story.
He was sniping too, right?
Jake, I love you so much. Forgive me. Yeah, he was sniping as well because he's been a sniper. I was gonna say his whole life. He's been like a FPS sniper his whole life. Like that's what he enjoys. Like that's his favorite kind of weapon to shoot on the game. He's all about the finesse, the trick shots and stuff. I remember like as kids,
so he's saying
he'd be like, yo lot, come have a look at this 360, and like I'm like, yeah, let's have a look. So I guess I would say he's a bit gutted about this, the game at the moment, just because of the way that snipers play and the kind of, I guess, the criticism people have on snipers, because he enjoys playing as a sniper. So it's difficult because people are like, oh yeah, but it's a sniper. You know what I mean? Which kind of sucks for people who love it. But we were in a lobby with Pomage, and I think his friend, who was also equally incredible as well with the sniper. But like even more incredible because, as you know, snipers are OP as hell. Yeah. And Jake was with me, and he was having a tragic moment with his internet, and he was so annoyed because he was like, the one moment I can go against pros who are like, do this for a living, these snipe montages, and I could have really, I'm just
could've
so
got
annoyed.
A clip.
Yeah,
could have got a cool clip on him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I believe it because he's
really good.
He's really good at it.
He's really good.
He rage quit about 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
Rage quit. He's like, I'm just not doing it. He's like, there's
internet,
no way.
The worst internet
He's like,
you've ever
there's no
seen.
way. Because he didn't even want to, he was like, it would have annoyed him so much.
He stayed in.
Yeah. I stayed in and just started going, brah, brah, brah.
What gun is that?
Am I embarrassing myself again?
No.
Well, that's my Diamante.
No wonder why he's dropping 100 kills. You're trying to kill him with a pistol.
I know, it just reminded me that's the noise it kind of makes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's like a semi-auto. Anyway.
Why'd you make a different sound?
I don't know, because I thought it was better. Anyway.
You should have made the same sound. Why'd you make a different sound?
Because...
You just thought it sounded better.
Oh, yeah.
You went with a different gun.
I was trying... Yeah. Don't know what that is. LC10? I don't know. What does an LC10 make?
I don't know. I never used one.
No, anyway. Continuing.
Hey, what's the next topic?
Well, we're going to move on from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about
we did
okay.
Halo. Did we go quick enough through the major?
Halo. Huh?
Did we go quick enough through the major?
I believe so. Let me have a quick look. Not really. It was not bad. 44 minutes. Not terrible for us.
To be fair, we were talking about something not major related.
Not terrible. Anyway.
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah.
Incredible song by an incredible artist. Angels have them on their heads, and a phenomenal FPS game that has got a wonderful universe as well. That also is bringing out a new game, which I think is going to blow up, hopefully. Because it's going to be a great game. Anyway, Halo. Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. So,
E3 around the corner.
Yeah. So I know you have a bunch of stuff that you want to discuss with Halo. So talk us through it, Peach. What are you excited about? What's been on your noggin?
There's not really like an insane amount to talk about.
Oh well.
I just wanted to say I'm excited for E3. They tease. Well, because there's not.
I give this epic intro and you go, there's not much to talk about.
Well, unfortunately, that's the truth. We're gonna have a lot to talk about with E3, I think, like whenever that happens. So I'm really excited to do an episode.
So
after
tell people
E3.
what you're gonna do. So are you gonna be streaming live E3?
Yeah, probably.
The announcement and stuff.
I might
check that out.
I might go and do what we did the last. I mean, Jesus Christ! I think it was the last E3.
It was. I remember actually. You were sat here.
No, I was there. You were here. Because my setup's right there.
No, I swear, last E3 you were. No, it was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was you. Sat right there watching it.
Where am I?
I don't know. I think that they teased a battle royale again. They've been giving
courage
little tweets here and there. They've been little tweets. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah,
remember the dropship one that they did? People started freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of already talked about.
We're getting some battle royale hints, which is
we kind of
really
already
exciting.
talked about battle royale, so I don't think we need to go like super in depth. I'm just excited. You know, like, they tweeted at Courage.
Let's do it.
Said we'll wake you up when we need you, or something like that. I don't know, but like it could also just be about the game, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it could be, but it does sound awfully lot like a hint. I wonder if that social media team had to get the okay to say that.
I'm sure they did, because that's kind of how it rolls nowadays. I feel like. Can I give you my dream E3?
Yeah, go for it.
Halo Infinite multiplayer reveal, because we haven't seen any multiplayer yet.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 3. Did I say Halo 3 before?
Don't think so.
Halo Infinite multiplayer reveal. Halo Infinite.
He wants Halo 3 back, people.
No, I do not. No offense. Halo Infinite flight testing announced. Game release date announced. Mm-hmm. Goes black. You think they're going to be done? Right?
Hell no.
They just drop a little 20-second trailer. Battle Royale. Boom.
Guys,
it's like the perfect E3.
He's not asking for a lot here.
It's only give every ounce of information that you have, basically.
Yeah, it's not a lot. Just, come on.
I hope if they're releasing a Battle Royale, it's a separate developer and it comes out after the game launches. I don't want it I don't want it at the launch. I want the same thing that Call of Duty did, because I think Call of Duty did a phenomenal job. I
think that's a really nice note about different developer, because that, I think a lot of people's worries and fears and kind of like, I guess, potential, like, very much I'm against a Halo
Takes
VR
away.
worry literally just goes away, just because I think, a lot of people are saying, well, they're not going to spend as much time on the actual Halo Infinite then, because they're going to be so focused on a BR, because everyone knows a BR will probably perform really well. So if they do a different developer, I think that's the smartest thing. And I think, I just think you'll get a better kind of, I think, reception from people who are hating against that.
Do it after launch. Let the launch be the focus on the campaign and the multiplayer and all of its features, Forge, hopefully theater mode if there's theater, like all that good stuff. And then I'm trying to think, like, when Call of Duty, I think it was like 4 to 6 months Warzone came out after the release of MW.
Yeah.
Something like that, because it came out like October, and then I think MW came out, or I think Warzone, came out in March. So I just want something like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, just not a lot, we're not really asking for a lot here.
I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why it's not possible.
No, I'm just joking.
I think it's possible.
It was just funny because you whip your digits out. This.
It's my wish list. It's what I want.
I love it. Because
I do think we're gonna have a multiplayer reveal, and I think we're gonna get info. They have 100% confirmed there's flight testing. Flight testing is like a beta, for those of you that don't know.
So excited.
And we're running out of time. So I think it's got to be soon, which means they got to announce the date soon. I think E3 is a perfect time. I don't know if it's going to be open or not, but I think E3 is a pretty perfect time for that. The release date thing is interesting, and why I think it might be E3 is because all it said is fall 2021. So you're kind of like, okay, like when? And again, E3 is kind of like the perfect time to announce it. So yeah. I think it's possible. I don't know if it'll happen, but I think at least 3 of those things are possible, because I don't know about the Battle Royale. But
you think the game will be ready?
Like off launch?
Because like, this is what I'm going to say about it, right?
Yeah.
This is like an unusual topic, because this is also not in a negative way at all. But like, I feel like this happened with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And obviously Cyberpunk's a different kettle of fish here. Yeah. It's a different game. It's very immersive and a bit nuts. But I feel like a lot of developers, especially with like, the pandemic hitting, etc., felt a lot of pressure after having initially pushed back their release date to really get it out on that date because of the feedback. And I think that's what happened with Cyberpunk, is like, they were like, well, guys, we've got to put out something. We've got to do something. Like, if we don't release this, like, it's not good. I mean, do you feel like
I think that Halo did something. I think Halo, by delaying it, already did something I didn't think that they would do.
Right.
Because there was this rumor going around that they might delay it. And in my mind, I was like, they're not going to. Like, I mean, because MCC came out, terrible launch. Halo 5 didn't have the best launch in the world. So, like, it's kind of been a trend, you know?
Yeah.
But they did the right thing. They delayed the game. I don't think it's going to be perfect off launch. But what they continue to stress about the game is that it is post-launch, it is going to be extremely updatable, extremely customizable, which is something that Halo has never had. So I think that So I think that even if the launch isn't the greatest thing you've ever seen, and maybe there's not game modes, or maybe stuff needs to be changed, they have the ability now to correct it, which is something they did not have when they released Halo 5. And I personally liked the 2016 settings of Halo 5 with like autos and radar. A lot of people didn't, but I liked it. It was something new.
Yeah.
But by the end of the first couple months of the game, with assault rifles in and radar, the settings could have worked. They just needed to do a weapon tuning, but they lacked the ability. They couldn't do a weapon tuning, like, too quick. You know, for big developers, they have to plan it so far ahead. So they plan one, but it just wasn't within 3 months of the game. So the fact that now Infinite, that's what they're saying that is capable to do. I think the game will be mostly ready. I think the game will be ready. I just think that the best is yet to come after the launch.
I feel you. I think that's a really optimistic view as well. Yeah. So I love that. Really, we're so excited, aren't we?
Yeah, I can't wait.
We're so excited. Our basement is coming together, folks. It's coming together as well. So it's just like, we're really, really excited for all of it, and like, you know, new journey that we're going to be taking together.
I mean, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like last E3, it has literally almost been a year since being like, everyone was like, this game doesn't look ready. And then I think a month after E3 was the delay. And I was sitting there. I remember literally I was golfing with John, our brother-in-law, and I got like the message about it. And I was like, shoot. Like, I was like, I was like, well, because it just changes everything.
That's a really,
no, because it just changes.
Dulled down.
Yeah, that's not response. What I actually said. That's not what actually happened.
If anyone's ever watched Full Metal Alchemist, you know, oh my god, what's his name now? Not Ed. Al?
Yeah.
Al? Is it Al?
What, Ed and Al?
Is it Ed and Al?
Yeah, I think so.
Which one's which again? Is Al?
Al is the Al is the little brother.
Al is the little brother. Ed then, right? Yeah. Have you ever seen when
freaking out
when Ed gets called short?
Yeah.
That was his response to the delay.
Yeah, basically.
Right?
Yeah, but it just changed everything. You know, you're like, my career's on hold for another year. What's going to happen with my team? Are we going to stick around Halo? You know, there's just like so many different factors. So, you know, fast forward almost a year later, and we're getting to the point where it's like, it's almost here. Like, holy cow. It's you know, it feels like it's been a long wait. But now it feels like you're on the short side of it, you know, of like, okay, now it's time to start gearing up and get ready. So I'm just excited. We'll see. I'm sure I'll have some negative shit to say at some point.
We'll see. Halo, we'll let that time happen when it happens. Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
So I think lastly to discuss, just to round off the episode, is about social media. Again, we've had a couple of conversations about social media, not just even social media. I think just the power of one's voice and opinion, and how that opinion is used for good or for bad. And actually, we had somebody write in. Do you actually? I would love to reference them. Do you?
It's too long of a post.
Yeah, but
the actual username.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
We're gonna find the username now, but somebody wrote in. And asked us to discuss something. We would love to discuss it for you guys, because, you know, it's something that actually both of us are quite passionate about. Yeah. I think, like, you know, reading it, we were like, whoa, hold on a second. Yeah, like, we agree.
It's this name here, if you can pronounce
that. Crucina Luatra.
Yeah.
So they basically wrote in, this is kind of in short. So a team does bad, gets hate, player on Twitter calls out haters, people on Reddit or whatever go, why are they even a pro if they can't take criticism? So that is kind of, in a nutshell, you know, what the discussion is. And I think there's a lot to kind of unfold here. So we'll try and do it in like a kind of more like condensed way and give our opinions on it. But I think just to begin the discussion off, I think there's a level of understanding between, I think, pros, between public figures, between anybody who has a presence on social media or any of their platforms, that you are going to be judged by the masses, and the masses will be obtained based on how well you do or how bad you do at something, or your opinion, whether that opinion is a good opinion that you have with the world or whether it's a bad opinion you have with the world. You know, if you are on social media and you have some kind of presence in terms of numbers, I think you understand that territory comes with a lot of opinions and voices back behind what you're doing. And I don't necessarily think that, you know, you have to just take it on the chin when you get criticism or when you get people who are being just like overly judgmental and mean and rude or hateful. But I do think that there is a level of understanding of that person that could potentially happen to them. With that being said, like as a pro, you know, I think it's a problem when people's opinion of this actual topic, so for example, how that person on social media handles the hate and the criticism, I think that is when it goes too far as well, because I think it's more so like, you don't, like, why do you care how that person feels about something else that's irrelevant to you, if that makes any sense? Like, for example, like, if someone's feelings get hurt based on what people are saying.
What the person had said is like, you know, when the player responds to it, it's like, oh, you're soft. You know, like that's kind of what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you can continue, but that's kind of... Yeah,
exactly. So, like, for example, when people, do say, like, oh, you're soft for caring about
what other people think.
People, like, literally hating on you for something quite innocent, you know, I think it can go too far on social media. And I think that a lot of people don't realise how much things affect pros, affect public figures, affect all sorts of people. It's really hard to like talk about sometimes, because I think that with this topic, I don't think everybody's on the same page.
No.
So it's really hard to like simplify and also give your opinion on it without like coming across as like too like one-sided or opinionated. But like, I just feel like my like opinion on social media in general is very one way. Like, you can, and I've said it numerous times on here, but like, if I get anybody who gives me a negative vibe, or I don't like what they're saying about someone else, or I don't like what they're saying to me, and it doesn't make me feel good, or like, for example, like, you can have an opinion and you can not like what I'm saying, but if you're rude or mean or hateful towards somebody else or whatever it is, discriminative, whatever, I'm sorry, but you are off my page. Like, I am blocking you, and there is no second thought about it. Like, that's just what I do, because that helps me get through my day.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it then. But for a lot of pros, I think that they don't have that, because also like there's other platforms like Reddit, and there's just like
where you
so
can't
many,
go and block people per se.
So I guess like the conversation really kind of goes on the angle is more like, you know, as a pro player yourself, you know, how do you feel about criticism and getting over criticized, or even getting criticized for having a say on your criticism?
Yeah, I hate it. Like, I won't put on the front. First off, great question. You brought up great points. I hate it. I don't think it's so tough, because like, as a pro player, I understand people having some criticism, but like, people will be like, I get this a lot in my stream, and what people will go and say is like, you know, like, I'll have my opinion on something, I don't know, it could be anything, and like the person will disagree with me, and I'll be like, well, like, you could disagree, it'll be something like Halo related, right, something like, I'm sorry, like, this is not a debate, you know, and they'll be like, well, like, I'm entitled to my opinion, and it's like, right, so you think you know better than a 13-year professional player who has been doing it for a living for 13 years, right? And it's like, when I say that to you, like, you think you know Halo better than me. And it's like, it sounds so negative to say, because it sounds like you're putting someone down, but it's what you're talking about, is so many people have criticism, but the reality of it is you're doing something that the 1%, less than 1% of people do in terms of competing, right? Like, pro players are doing something that is so unattainable by so many other people, right? And you have to look at Twitter, and again, there's a level of understanding to it, because you have fans, you have people who support you. And I don't even like the term fans. I like people who support you and want to see you succeed, and they're concerned when you don't. But there's just a level to it that crosses a line. And, you know, when 11-year-old me probably like 10-year-old me decided I want to be a pro player, that part of me did not want criticism or supporters or anything. I just wanted to go win tournaments. And I think that that's still something to this day. You know, if you want to go play in the NFL, I don't think you necessarily have to be someone who wants to be in the spotlight. You could just want to win championships and be the best player that you can be. And there's always people that think they know more than you. And I think that there is, but it's just, there's such a negative issue that comes around social media. Players' mentality are affected, or mentally are affected by it, because of how much they're receiving. I mean, you could reference Call of Duty, like Optic, obviously, just being the obvious answer to like an example, and it's ridiculous. Like, the stuff they get is quite literally ridiculous, to where, you know, when you comment on it, on how you don't like seeing it or whatever, you're then soft. And it's like, okay, so I care more about this, like, this is my career, I care about this. You're saying something negative to me, and I care, but so I'm soft about caring about something I'm supposed to care about.
But you care enough to then voice your opinion. You know, so
it's just tough. It comes with the territory. Players, I said this. I think you saw my tweet to Nameless. Players in esports are going to become more and more and more separate to social media, similar to what pro sports are. There are some professional athletes who are great at social media and are really involved and have a great fan connection, and there are professional athletes that hire social media managers and probably don't know their own logins. Like, that's just the truth. They probably do. I'm being sarcastic, but it's just the harsh reality. We're in a really weird time period for gaming, in my opinion. I mean, you tell me what you think. I just think we're in a weird time period, and even like you as an example, you are an amazing desk host. Like, you don't have to answer. That's not a comment for you to answer, but you are an amazing desk host, right? And you know, anytime you go on broadcast, you just know that, because people will say it to you, or people will tell you. There are people in the chat or Twitter or Instagram or whatever telling you how to do your job, how you look at, or any comment, like,
don't know anything,
that you don't know anything.
I'm literally there because I'm a female.
Exactly. So like, and it's like, what is, like, there's just such a negative, like, what are you doing? Like, what, like,
I think, honestly, I just feel like there's so much negative energy in the world at the moment, and it's really horrible. Like, it's and I mean, that was just the most generic sentence ever. Like, obviously it's really horrible, but I like, to the point where it's like, it's actually ruining people's lives. And I just want to say that if you are being hurtful and rude and negative to someone else, that says an awful lot about you. Like, you must be not happy. Like, you can't be happy with yourself if you are saying that to other people.
Put yourself in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
Imagine you are me, or you in this scenario, and like, I go to look at Twitter or something, and like, I have to just read negative comments about me, whether it's gameplay related, looks related. I mean, it could be, you've seen some of the comments I've gotten. I mean, it could be the craziest shit you've ever seen. Same thing for you, right? It could be complete. It could have nothing to do with anything going on. It's just someone being a hater. So it's like, I think we're both old enough and adult enough now to, like, I wouldn't really say it impacts me. I block it. It could create a bad vibe for like a second, and then I'm like, it is what it is. But I don't think it should be that way.
No, I don't struggle with it as much as I used to anymore. Like, I've dealt with a lot of horrible things previously, and I just learned to block it and just don't, just try not to think about it.
You have it worse than I ever did. So.
But like, I just think that, you you have so much power as a person with freedom of speech and with, you know, an opinion and a sound mind and a voice. And you've also been given a tool, which is now social media, which is more prevalent than ever in our whole lives. I feel like a whole world surrounded by social media now. Like, that is the world, that is marketing, that is the world. That was our president for a very long time. That was our government. That was, I mean, think about how crazy that tool is. You know, it's wild to think about, but you have been given an extra voice as a person, and if you know, you have a choice with what you do with that voice. Like, if you're gonna just use that to be horrible and rude and ruin people's lives and kick somebody while they're already down, I mean, what does that say about you as a human being? I mean, that is just awful. Like, you know, you could do so much more. And I just want you to know as well, like, to all those people out there, or, you know, if you know anybody who is like this and you want to, you know, you want to say something to them, you know, like, I mean, you literally, it is the difference between saving someone's life sometimes and sometimes ending it. Like, it's that powerful. Like, there is so many instances. We've had something recently in COD happen literally last year, and it's not that long ago, and I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to bring that, you know, energy into the space, or even have somebody potentially say something horrible about it. But I'm sure that a lot of viewers and a lot of regular viewers probably know what that is. It happened in the Call of Duty scene, and it's the exact same thing. People who battle with you know, depression and anxiety and stuff, and you know, it's really sad. But you know, you get way more attention from pros, from, you know, public, you know, people who have like a public platform, who are celebrities, for God's sake. I mean, you get way more attention from saying good things and nice things and positive things, or just something that's like an actual discussion. Doesn't necessarily have to be like constantly like, oh, I love you, you're the best, but like a genuine discussion about something that they're doing. You get way more attention from that than you do from the negative. And
even like to talk about something recent, and not really talk about, but just to kind of
sorry everyone,
not to
had to get another one in.
You had to not to not to talk about it, but it just shows how awful people can be. And we can publicly, you know, like the piece with Study and his brother this past weekend. It was beautiful. You know, it was sad. It has mixed of emotions, you know, and the fact that I didn't see it, I closed out of the chat. I saw one comment, I closed it out. The fact that like you can know people are saying negative stuff, like, you know, just toxic negative things about a story like that, and, you know, a family. It's like what are we doing? Makes me sick. Like, it genuinely makes me sick. And what people don't realize they're doing, you know, mental health is such a big topic now, and it's becoming, your words are becoming more and more powerful, and, you know, we're just getting to a point where people recognize that, but like, it's, they don't really seem to care, I guess, you know. And what in turn of what's going to happen to what you're saying is people are going to become more and more and more distant from each other. We have such a special thing in esports where you are so connected to people, you know. Professional athletes, I mean, it's kind of happening a little bit more now, right, because of streams, but you don't get to go into a professional athlete's chat and talk to them and ask them how their day is, and, oh, hey, how's your dog doing? And, you know, there's so many, it's such a more personal connection. Like I said, it is happening a little bit more now with athletes streaming and stuff, but esports, it's always been that way. And with gaming getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I think players are just going to start distancing more and more and more, because sometimes the negatives just way too much.
Yeah. You know, I actually, just to round off everything, because I think we've said a lot here about it, but I think there is only really one solution to solve this. I wouldn't even say solve it, but to help this issue.
What's that? So
the phrase "kill them with kindness," you know, it's something that I definitely live by all the time. It's just something that it's kind of ingrained in me, but I think it's more kind of useful in this situation than ever. And that is because if you put fire like into this mix, like if you put fuel on this fire, it's going to keep spreading. Like, if you see negative comments, hateful comments, whatever it may be, how intense and how small, it doesn't matter. If you show attention to that, people feed off of it.
Yeah.
People realize like, oh, that's getting attention. Oh, I'm going to one up this, you know.
Yeah.
You know, on Reddit, stop upping horrible comments. If it like, don't give it attention. Do not give it attention at all. Don't even give it a down. Like, don't give it anything. Don't give it the time of day. Like, make people realize that negative and hateful comments, do not get them anywhere. They're not noticed. They're not wanted. And they're nothing. They mean nothing to people. If you do that, slowly and surely, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't even mean half the things they're saying sometimes, and only do it for attention. Those people will get filtered out, and then obviously, you know, some people were born hateful. There's nothing you can do about that. But I think the masses right now, the reason why there's so many is because it's attention. Because it's getting people attention. They think it's funny. They
want likes and clicks, and you know,
they want the you know, the analytics, and do not give it to them. That is the best way to kill that. That is the best way.
I think
show it nothing. And I struggle with it sometimes. Like I don't do it anymore. I don't respond. But like I do find it hard sometimes, and like, you know, I've come to you a couple of occasions. I'm like, I did block the person, but God, I was so close to saying this or whatever it is, and I just don't do it because it's not worth it. Don't give it the time of day.
I mean, you know, treat others how you wish to be treated. Kill them with kindness. I mean, you know, stuff I've always lived by. You know, to what you said, pro players, talent, broadcasts, you know, you wanted to be in this position, but you didn't ask to be critiqued and criticized and like just put under a microscope of every single thing that you do. You know, so to what you're saying with pro players, I think it's ridiculous. Like when players are called out or overly criticized, and players come back and give kind of their answer to it, and then they're called like soft, like that's the problem. That's a major part of the problem.
I also think you need to realize as well that, well, those people, I say you, but we're not talking to you.
We have an awesome community, so it's not possible for us to
who we're talking to. We're talking to all those other people out there. You know, if they want an opinion in COD, or, you know, whatever it is, so bad, and they keep being super negative and super horrible and like super personal. Well, you know what? Maybe one day you'll wake up and you would have been so terrible as a collective, and suddenly no one wants to be a pro player anymore. How are you going to feel then when you got no one to talk about, when you don't have any COD to watch? Like, think of it that way. If you're just like, spur on your players, be there for them, be encouraging, you know, like, what is your problem? God. Just smile. Like, smile, because you have something to talk about. You have a voice. You have an opinion. Use it for the good. Like, what is wrong with people sometimes? I swear to God, like, people telling, like, me and the desk to shut the F up. Like, literally, as we get on broadcast, like, I welcome. They're like, oh, shut the F up. Like, why is she talking? I hate her voice. Blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. And trust me, there is, you know, with however much there is hate there is a lot of good there, and I see you. I see that good, I do, and I appreciate it. But my gosh, like, and then on the other hand, when we went to online, and suddenly the analyst position for myself and my colleagues was dialed back a lot because it was hard online. And the feedback was, we want the desk back. Where's the analysis? Oh my gosh, there's not much of this. Why aren't they talking much? I'm like, hold on a second. You were telling me to shut the F up the whole blooming season last season. Do you know what I mean? So it's funny because it just like shows full circle what we're talking about. It's the attention. It is thinking it's funny, thinking like, and this is minor. This is a minor thing. I mean, it's barely anything. It doesn't hurt me. I'm like, ping like a little ant. I don't care.
You also don't really see it.
No.
Like, you don't really open.
But, well, I used to get tweeted it as well. But, you know,
well, those guys are
it just
blocked.
shows you it's not actually meant. So half of the stuff that they're saying.
Those people are blocked now.
Those people are blocked. I don't see them anymore. I actually said this the other day, didn't I? I probably already said it on this, but it's really cool. Like, my following is definitely growing, and I didn't think it ever would. And honestly, like, I wouldn't say I'm not bothered about my following, but like, it's not something that I'm like, I really, really want loads of followers, but I really appreciate every single person that follows me, because I know that they're nice. I said that to you the other day. So thanks, guys. Love you. Anyway, we're going to round this up. We would love to know what you think about this topic. Fair warning, though. If you're mean in this topic, you're out. But
Be kind. Be kind.
Be kind, guys.
Be kind. Be the change you want to be.
Yeah.
Be the person you want to be.
And like I said, guys, honestly, don't fuel that fire. If you can resist, unless it's something that you think needs to be said. But honestly, half the time it's like resist, because it's not worth it.
Mute them, block them.
Yeah.
Move on,
because suddenly it will get drowned out eventually with goodness. So hope everybody has had a pleasant podcast.
Yeah.
I just want to apologize right now for sniffling and stuff. I still have terrible allergies. Where are my allergy people at? Where are my hay fever honeys? Let me know, because I have it very bad, don't I? Terrible allergies every day. But yeah, let me know.
They probably didn't hear it over all the coffee banging and.
I'm so sorry, guys. Really terrible. Maybe I should put maybe I should just do our song over the entire audio recording.
No,
just
it was good.
Quiet.
It was okay.
Apologies for the banging, but I hope you enjoyed the ASMR. And let's rate our coffee.
I give it a 9.
You give it a 9?
Yeah. 9 for me. It's really good.
I am going to give this a 9.3.
You trying to one up me? Or did you are you trying to one up me or?
No. I'm going to let you guys into a little secret, because if you stay till the end, we love you.
Yeah.
This bag of coffee is no longer a bag of coffee. You know what I'm going to show them?
Yeah.
This is no longer a bag of coffee. Okay. But
we've used the coffee.
We used the coffee. Yeah, we use the coffee. So I want to show you what we use to prop our bags
currently.
up. Yeah, currently. Sometimes I use different things, but this is a go-to.
Mm-hmm. You've used wires before.
I have used wires before. Do you want to know? Any guesses? Comment quick. Comment what you think's in here. Comment what you think. What's real ASMR that?
Mm-hmm.
Comment what
we
you
have a lot of Spotify listeners now, though, so it's not exactly fair to say comment.
That's why I'm doing this.
No, I know, but you're saying comment real quick. Shout out in your car.
Shout out in your car.
In your car.
Out the window with whoever you're watching or listening with, quickly, and then see who gets it right and let us know down below.
We're growing Spotify a lot,
okay,
so thank you for leaving the likes on it.
Dun, da, da, da. Old batteries. Yeah, loads and loads of old batteries.
Yeah.
Obviously heavy, small, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone needs to prop up coffee bags for I don't know, God knows, something.
Yeah.
Old batteries are a winner.
Yeah.
Save your old batteries, put them in your coffee bag, and have them just dropping them there. Have them on display.
Yeah.
Life hack. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a really fun episode, and we got deep, we had fun, we laughed,
talked video games,
we didn't cry, which is a good thing.
I cried.
Did you cry?
Internally,
yeah. Thinking about Infinite not being ready, but it's okay, it will be ready. Let's get this what's it called? Manifest. Yeah, is it manifest? Manifest.
Speak it into existence.
Anyway, hope everyone's had a wonderful episode. We have thoroughly enjoyed bringing it to you. Episode 13 done and dusted, in the books. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Let us know what you think about the podcast below. Let us know any questions you want for next time. We'll be reading. Yeah, hope everyone's well. We love you guys so much, and as always,